Hey guys, what's going on? Fred2266 here. Sorry, hold on. And I'm here to read Chapter 9 of A New Home 2, A Queen's Revenge by ALPHABETICAL. Been a little bit busy today. I made a group for Toby Mason. New Home 3 comes out tomorrow. Me and Jason are making it, ALPHABETICAL. I had to make a group. I got to meet some of his followers. So far, they seem like really nice people. So I can't promise 10 chapters of Know Your Mayor, but I can promise 5. I will make 5. And this, and also on Loaded Barney, the series, Stroke of Genius, all 3 today. Don't worry, I'll get it done. Not going to speed read those, but let's just get started. The baby dragon and the fillies, except for Sweetie Belle, were waiting on the dock of the Ponyville train station for the Friendship Express to roll in. Spike tapped his foot impatiently on the wooden surface as he looked all around for the unicorn filly. He threw his claws up in the air in a frustrated manner and turned to Apple Bloom Skulu. "Where's Sweetie Belle at? Doesn't she know we don't have all the time in Equestria?" He let out a puff of smoke. The 4 fillies chuckled at him as Skulu hovered above him and patted the scale on top of his head. "Easy there, Dragon Boy," she said. Oh, sorry. Easy there, Dragon Boy. She said she'll be here soon. She has a surprise for you, Silver Spoon and Diamond Tiara," she smirked proudly. Diamond and Silver's ears perked at the surprise. Diamond asked, "Oh? What kind of surprise, Scootaloo?" She beamed with excitement and curiosity along with Silver Spoon. Apple Bloom giggled and replied, "Diamond, you know we can't tell you, or it wouldn't be a surprise." Scootaloo nodded in agreement, letting out a chuckle. Suddenly, Sweetie Belle came galloping onto the waiting dock, panting. "I'm here. Don't leave yet." She sat down on her haunches to rest while she was wearing her saddlebags. She was also wearing her cutie mark crusader's cape, which caught the curious eye of the other fillies and dragons. Are they going to make them members? To make no sense. Spike let out a sigh of relief. "Finally you're here, sweetie. Don't worry, the train hasn't even gotten here yet, so you're okay." He gave her a soft smile and looked at her saddlebags curiously. Sweetie? What's in your saddlebags? And why are you wearing your cape for?" Sweetie Belle smiled at the fillies and dragons. "Well, I thought we could wear our capes to show support for our little brother." She opened the flaps of her magic and levitated 5 extra capes. "Here you go, girls." She levitated 2 over to Apple Bloom and Skulu. "I also decided to make capes for you 3. She levitated the last 3 over to Diamond Tiara, Silver Spoon, and Spike. Spike smiled slyly as he threw the cape around his back and tied it around his neck. "Whoa! Very cool, Sweetie Belle. Thanks." He stood with his claws on his hips, tilting his head up with pride. The fillies chuckled as Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon smiled at their capes. "Thanks, Sweetie Belle," they both replied. "It's no problem, guys. We have to be there for a little brother and friend." She smiled at them, and they all nodded in unison. Soon enough, the Friendship Express pulled up to the station and came to a slow, steady stop. Diamond reached into her saddlebags to pull out the tickets and pass them out. They watched as the passenger doors opened, and out stepped the conductor. "Welcome aboard the Friendship Express! Please show your tickets before you—" He cut himself off when he noticed the baby dragon and 3 fillies from last time they boarded the train. "Oh no, not you 4 again. I told you last time if you came near this train I would have you 4 banned from the station for good. Now get!" He gave them all a stern look. Spike looked up with a hopeful look. "But sir, it's an emergency. My voice sounds deep, so let us on. I'm obviously an adult. You see my—" The conductor cut him off by waving a hoof in front of the baby dragon. "I don't care. Rules are rules, and I warned you the first time, so go before I get your parents involved." He started stepping towards them. Well, it could be said that Scootaloo or Diamond Tiara don't have a mother, but, you know. "Sir, if you would just listen, we—" Spike was cut off with a hoof on his shoulder. He turned to see Diamond Tiara with a smirk on her face. "Don't worry, Spike. I got this," she said as she cleared her throat and looked up at the conductor with her eyes furrowed in frustration. "Listen to me, mister. My daddy's the richest pony in Ponyville, and his name's Filthy Rich." She stomped her hoof on the dock. "Now, if you don't let us on that train, I'll personally tell my daddy to replace you just like that. Do you understand me?" The conductor shook and nodded vigorously. Yes, miss. Anything you say." He swallowed nervously. "May I see your tickets, please?" He held out a shaking forearm. "Thank you, sir. That's better." Diamond Tiara smirked as she handed the conductor her ticket first and trotted onto the train. She was followed by the others one by one. Sweetie Belle looked at Diamond disapprovingly. "That was kind of mean, don't you think, Diamond?" "Do you want to save your brother, or do you want to be a dumb?" "That's what I thought." As the 6 took their seats, Diamond blushed and giggled.
Well, Sweetie Belle, like Daddy always says, to be successful in business, you gotta be a little aggressive and also persuasive.
She gave her a smirk. Sweetie Belle sighed softly.
Well, I guess that does work.
She let out a giggle along with the others. With all the passengers aboard, the conductor announced, "Next stop, the Crystal Empire!" As the passenger doors closed and the train started, the hearts of the 6 young passengers were pounding heavily as they began the trek to visit Princess Cadence and Prince Shining Armor. Deep below in the caverns of Rambling Rock Ridge, the 3 diamond dogs were returning from the Badlands. As they approached their home to notice their guards were nowhere to be seen, they each scratched the back of their heads with a paw. Oh, God. Boss, where the troops at? I know that's not how they talk, but I just think this mafia thing be funny. Fido asked as he looked over at Rova and Spot at the same time. I don't know, you idiots, but I don't like the look of this. Rova looked all around as they kept walking. Oh, I don't think you're going to find them occupying this fine living establishment any longer. A sly and sinister laugh echoed throughout the caverns, causing the 3 dogs to shake. Who's there? Rova asked as him and the other 2 looked around while Spot and Fido clung to each other, trembling. Show yourself, you coward! A cackle rung through the cavern. Oh, a coward, am I? Suddenly the yellow eyes of Discord appeared out of nowhere in front of the Diamond Dogs, and the Draconiquist's form took shape. Well, I assure you, my good mutt, that I am no coward. He chuckled as he stood tall. Rova looked up with a scowl of anger. Who might you be? How do you not know who Discord is? He asked in frustration as the other 2 shook behind him. Discord looked at him curiously. Oh, so you don't know who I am, do you? He smiled mischievously. Well, let me show you. With a snap of his talons, a cloud of cotton candy appeared above the 3 and started to rain chocolate milk. The 3 looked at the rain and said all together, "Chocolate milk, what?" Discord chuckled. May I introduce myself? I am the one and only master of chaos, Discord. He bowed his head to the 3 dogs. Okay, some voice is going to yell, "Now, Applejack!" yelled another voice as a large-sized lasso came out from behind the shadows and looped around the 3. I got him, Twi. Okay, that was Twilight there. The cow pony suddenly appeared with the others coming out from different directions and surrounding the dogs. Now let me tie this up and... There! They're tied nice and tight. She tipped her hat with a proud smirk. Yeah, what's going on? Y'all want to be sweeping with the fishes? Rova asked as he looked frantically at the approaching ponies. Rainbow Dash hovered over to the 3, smacking each of them across the face with a hoof. Be quiet, you mutts! Tell us where that no-good slimy excuse for a queen is and where she's hiding Toby. She lowered to the ground, kicked her foreheads hard against the dirt, and snarled at the 3. You mean that little runt? Spot asked as he struggling in the binding rope, but to no avail. Fluttershy looked curiously at them. Wait, how do you know my son? Her lips slowly formed into a scowl. Rover chuckled and looked right at Rarity. You mean you didn't talk about a little runt in with you? And that little shrimp-whining pony? The others gasped and looked at the white unicorns. Fluttershy looked at her with a frown. Rarity, is this true? Rarity shrunk back a little and swallowed nervously. Well, I... She was caught up when Rover laughed. Course it's true. We saw the whining pony carrying that little runt on the back and thought we could get some gems in exchange if we nabbed him. He chuckled until he and the others were tackled without warning by Fluttershy. She placed a forearm against Rover and pressed down, causing him to gasp for breath. She leaned her head down close to his, and her brows furrowed in anger as she gave him the stare. Be quiet, you vile creature! She was breathing heavily. Fluttershy, you gotta try and calm down, Pinky said. She stepped closer to the enraged Pegasus. Be quiet, Pinky! I agree. Let the bitch tear him apart, she yelled, not looking at Pinky as she added more pressure to the Rover's neck. Now tell me where my son is, or I promise I'll make sure you 3 won't be able to hunt for gems anymore. She gritted her teeth intensely. The Badlands! She's hiding in the Badlands, man! Spot and Fido spoke up. Fluttershy looked at the other 2, but turned back to Rover. Is that true? She added more pressure as she choked him, and he nodded furiously. She lifted her hoof of his neck and quickly turned to trot away. The others looked on concerned for their friend as she trotted past them. Rarity carefully placed a hoof on her shoulder to cause to stop. Fluttershy was breathing heavily. Fluttershy, darling, I'm so sorry I didn't tell you. Rarity looked at her with a sad smile, with tears stinging her eyes. Fluttershy lowered her head and said slowly, Not now, Rarity. She shrugged Rarity's hoof off her shoulder and trotted off. Love makes you do strange things, except in this case it's not a couple. It's a mother-son bond. Rarity sat down on her haunches and lowered her head solemnly. Applejack trotted up to her and rubbed at her back. She'll come around, Sugar Cube. You just gotta give her some time. She's just concerned about Toby, as we all are. She gave Rarity a reassuring smile. Rarity gave a light smile. You're right, Applejack dear. I just hope the little darling's doing okay and stays strong. She sighed deeply. Pinkie Pie came up beside Rarity and patted her back. We all do, Rarity, giving her a soft smile as the three trotted out next. Twilight looked up at Rainbow. Rainbow Dash, do you think you can fly to Camelot and tell the princesses that we know where Chrysalis is? Rainbow nodded and saluted with a hoof. You got it, Twilight. I'll be back in no time. With that, she zoomed out of the caverns. Twilight sighed softly and looked at Discord. Discord, do you think you can keep these mutts busy for a while? We don't want them to escape and try to go back on Chrysalis to warn her. She narrowed her gaze at the diamond dogs. Discord bowed his head. Your wish is my command, Princess Twilight. He gave a light chuckle. Seriously, you all be careful and bring Toby back safely. He gave her a soft smile. She nodded at him. Thank you, Discord. And don't worry, we will. She gave him a soft smile before turning and galloping off behind the others. Discord turned to the three dogs and had a mischievous smile on his face. Oh, I'm going to have fun with you three. He let out a cackle at the diamond dogs, swallowed nervously, and began shaking. In the Badlands, Chrysalis was standing before her army of changelings that were lined up in rows and rows of drones. She paced back and forth as an evil grin formed across her face. The drones fluttered their wings as they looked intently at their queen. My children, today begins our reign as the true rulers of Equestria, she spoke proudly. We're going to take control of each of the regions until Canterlot is left, and that will be my region. They nodded in understanding. She stopped pacing as she stood before her army. First, let the feast begin. She cackled as she lit her horn up and shot many beams towards her drones. They were all enveloped in their magic and were infused with the love from Toby. Wide grins grew across their lips as they hovered into the air. Chrysalis smiled proudly at her children as they hovered with new strength and desire to feed on more love. She hovered up to speak to them. Now, my children, divide and conquer. Leave no region untouched, and we shall finally take our rightful place we truly deserve. She let out a loud cackle as the drones snickered. They bowed their heads to their queen and flew off in all directions to the different regions of Equestria. Chrysalis lowered it to the ground. This is turning out to be too perfect that I even amaze myself, she thought to herself. I know if I try to feed on some more of the little one's love, he will try to resist. However, I gotta break him, and I think I know how. She's good at changing the Fluttershy. She smiled evilly, and as she turned to trot back into her cave, her smile grew wider as she thought some more. And that sorry excuse for a King Sombra thought he was the only one who could make ponies see their worst fears. She chuckled lowly as a wicked idea came to her mind. She's gonna transform into his daddy.